Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob the Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we have a very cool review impressions of a knife. This is part 2 of 6 knives I'm going to be reviewing from Knives loaned to me by Sever 7. This is the WE knife Acuminal? Let me try that again. Acuminal? I don't know. I'm hoping that's the right way to say it. You guys can correct me, but we're going to take a look at this. It's got some interesting things. So yeah, I think you'll find this kind of cool. All right, so today we're looking at the WE knife Acuminal. I'm hoping that's close. I hope I'm not totally butchering it. It's a really cool knife. This is an interesting shade of, I would call this like dark stonewash satin finished. This feels like it's got a hand satin finish, but then it's been darkened a little bit. So I don't know if you darkened it by, I don't know, aluminum blast or something like that. But it's got a lot of cool, interesting aesthetics. First of all, WE Knives is the maker, the designer. It's an in-house design by WE Knives, and they are the manufacturer of this knife, right? And the name of it is the Acuminal, so Acuminal. So I will probably have already posted it up there because I had a hard time saying it in the beginning, but that's the name of the knife. What makes this knife pretty interesting is, first of all, the materials. First and foremost, the blade material is Vanax Super Clean. That's one of the few times I've seen M390 and Vanax Super Clean from WE, but most of the time they do 20 CV. So I think that's pretty cool. Now the HRC is 58 to 60. It could be a little bit better, but it's not bad. It's okay. Nice clip, titanium scales. Not super sharp, which I appreciate. Not super sharp. I appreciate a lot of nice little touches. Even though it's very industrial, it does feel relatively not super sharp. I mean, this is not my favorite. Though I've felt things that are far worse, it's still just not my favorite. It will dig in. It will become uncomfortable depending on, you know, how you fidget with your knife. It's got some sharp edges on the inside. I wish it was a little smoother. Personally, I do like the finish, how they have this hand satin finish feel on the blade and then on the knife together. I think that's kind of cool. I love the minimal pivot with the blue anodized collars, and then you have the WE over here with the blue kind of lettering in there. Very minimal. There's not a whole lot of stuff on this blade to, you know, billboarding to take you away from it. I love the drop point here. You could almost looks like a dagger, but it's more of a drop point with a big, beautiful swedge, I think. It is a flat grind. I don't think it's a hollow grind. No, it's a flat grind. Does have a pretty long, nice tip. Good for getting a dog food, cat food, fertilizer, mulch, and stuff like that. Frame lock, it does have some cutaway here, some chamfering. It's a little tight in there. It does have some texture on the chamfering, which I think is kind of cool. This is not sharp, I said, like this is not sharp either. So you can get in there, you can catch that, you can clear the detent. So the detent does clear about right there. So when you drop it with your finger right there, you're clear and it will drop. And I just noticed something. Oh yeah. So this is the stop pin. It goes in here. You can see that clicks and then it stops going down here and it stops over here as well, which I think that's kind of interesting. It's the stop is right there. And then you can see, I don't know if you can really see it from here, but the stop is in this part of the blade as well. So I think it's kind of cool. T8 hardware, T8 all the way around. I think that's nice. Again, a little sharp on some spots. I wish that was a little nicer. To me, that's one of those things. I would get the very plain titanium one so I could touch those corners if I were to keep this, because that would be a killer for me to have a knife. And that's why I don't necessarily always like to have dark finishes, because you can fix things when people don't think about little details like that. A lot of times people get a knife and they think it's sharp, it's cool, it's edgy. Yeah, it may look great. And if all you wanted was to look pretty and stay in a case like that, sure, go for it. Or if you have someone who doesn't care that a knife is sharp and you got, like, you know, a 1/2 inch thick calluses that never get cut, absolutely. But I can tell you, even people with calluses, and when I had a lot of calluses doing a lot of different work when I was younger, even sharp edges on a knife after a while will cut through the calluses and crack the callus. So it's always nice to have something that's more ergonomic. I will tell you the action is fantastic. This flipper works really well. So we can do a push button. It does go in, and you can do the light switch. It does work well. Because there's a little texture on here, I believe I can do a faux flip. It's not the most ideal because it is like a swedge, but I believe, yeah, I can still do it. It's not the best in the world, you know, like it does slip, but if you get it just right, low enough, let me see if I can do it again. Oh, okay. I did it earlier. Okay. Now I can't do it. Okay, I had it earlier. Well, there you go. You saw me do it, and I was doing it, but now I can't. I can do it left-handed, but I certainly can't do it right-handed now. I don't know if it's because my hand. Yeah, maybe it's just not enough traction. So it's not the best faux. You can sort of faux flip it, but it's not really. You know, you got a flipper, but it works well. It's a nice flipper. It got good leverage by the pivot, so it does deploy and actuate the blade really nicely. The action is really good when you clear the detent, and it drops. Has a nice drop shut. I think skiffs would make this way better, a lot smoother. It feels a little not as smooth as a skiff, you know, running on skiff cage bearings. It's not bad. It's not like amazing, almost like it almost doesn't need skiffs. My first feeling on this knife would be like, I'd absolutely put skiffs in there, no question. It would make a huge improvement as far as I'm concerned. But not bad cage bearings in of itself, mind you. We're talking, you know, it's next level, right? It is a little off center. Is this the one? No, it was a little off center. I don't want to take it apart. I don't know if this is the one I tightened before. Yeah, it's still not loose or anything, so I don't want to mess with it, but it does seem like it's a little off-center, so there you go. Normally you can fix that with tightening the pivot or taking it apart and then reassembling it, and sometimes you can get things lined up, or swapping out the cage bearings or something like that, right? I like the blue anodization on screws and the hardware. I love the back spacer. This has beautiful potential with the lanyard. It's just too sharp. I wish it was just rounded just a bit. I think it would be a little nicer. Just my 2 cents on that. The danger is when you do something like this, you better be dead nut centered. And if you're not, it really stands out. This will drive me insanely OCD nuts. You do expose the tang of the blade where it engages on the frame lock right there. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that, because when it's really easy to get to, you can damage that, you can nick it, you can dent it, and then the engagement on the lock bar gets kind of weird, right? It could theoretically, even though this has a steel bar insert over travel stop on there, it could still get weird stick and weird things going on. So I don't like it fully exposed where it's really easy to get to, because I put my finger right on there. Typically you can't do that, right? And if it's in your pocket, something hits there, something dings it. I mean, that's a very smooth face that's meant to be very precisely engaged on the lock bar. Just my 2 things. I mean, it's cool in that regard. It has a nice symmetry to it, but yeah, I'm not a fan of it being exposed like that, just personally. Vanax Super Clean is going to be great for rust resistant, corrosion resistant. I don't know what the other steel is. The steel bar insert, over travel stop, you know, screws. I don't know if they're titanium. Let's take a look. Yeah. Pivot might even be titanium. All right, so that's cool. But there is a steel bar insert over travel stop. Let's see. Is there? I can't really tell. I'm assuming that there is. That's where the ceramic ball is in there. So, yeah, interesting. Okay, opening, closing, not bad. It is a flipper only as far as I'm concerned, really. That bonus is not quite there. The closing is pretty nice. This is a little sharp here on the edges. That's why I wish it was rounded a little bit more. You know, big old meaty fingers, you're always going to be challenged by that. Just keep that in mind. If you got thinner, skinnier fingers, you may not bother you at all. So, there you go. I'm always going to talk to you from my perspective with my hands, my ergonomics. So, let's do some measurements on this guy. Let's see how much this weighs. I think this is a 4.2 ounce or something like that, if I remember. I think I weighed it. No, 4.4 ounces, yeah. So not super light as far as that's concerned, but not super heavy. I think it's not too terrible. Let's look at the length. It's definitely over 8 inches. I think it's close to 9 inches, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's right at 9 inches. Yeah, 9 inches. And then we're looking at the handle here. From the back here to that part is about 4.5 inches. It's not really a choke up position here. I wouldn't even consider it at all. So 4.5. Blade length, you've got just under 4 inches. It's 3 7/8, right? The cutting length is 3 7/8 as well. So, you know, there you go. My large hands with big meaty fingers, plenty of room. So extra large, double extra large, maybe even triple extra large hands with big meaty fingers. You'll have tons and tons of room. All right, let's look at the blade. Now, I'm going to have to take this out because I have to measure the blade stock thickness at the widest point. So I'm going to measure that all the way over here, all the way in. So 153 thousandths of an inch, right? So it's not super thin, but it does, you know, with the nice big wedge here, it feels thin and slicey. You do have to overcome this little part right here. It gets thinner, obviously, toward the edge. So, I mean, it'll cut. It'll absolutely cut. Has a nice edge to it, so it'll definitely be sharp. Vanax is pretty good, but edge retention. Probably has a little better edge retention than than MagnaCut, but it's not as tough as MagnaCut. MagnaCut's definitely going to be tougher as far as materials. So that's what we're looking at. So this particular knife, I know that We itself sells it for about $410, but I think it's $3 something. I don't remember what it was. Does it say? Yeah, $374, $375, I think is what Sever7 said it was. So it's definitely in the $300 to $600 range. So you're in the high-end knife as far as my category goes. It's pretty cool. It's neat. If you really love the aesthetic, you love the design and some of these sharp edges and things like that, I think it'll be a cool collection piece. Can it be EDC hard used? I think so. I personally, some of the ergonomics I would resist wanting to do that because it just has some key small factors that would bother me personally. But definitely could be a collection piece. Now, some of those factors, if they don't bother you, I think you would love it. All right, so let's talk about the overall handles. The handles are nice. They're sharp, they're industrial. I do feel some of the edginess, especially right back here, right here, up on top. There's little corners. And, you know, if I'm just carrying this fidgeting generally and not doing a whole lot with it, yeah, that's kind of okay. But if I'm working hard use with this, I mean, the edge here, the edginess on the corners, all around here, all these things, they're going to add up after a while and get really uncomfortable. It's pretty sharp right here. There's really no chamfering. I do not like that. This is just way too edgy. So it's a personal thing. You guys may love the edginess, and so, you know, go for it. We can agree to disagree, but I can just tell you, my experience has been, the knives that I see people repeatedly carrying, people long-term use, people, and I'm not talking the exception, I'm talking on overall, when a knife is really popular, a lot of people love to carry it, the little touches, the little ergonomics, the not as sharp edges, the little rounded corners, little things like that is what keeps the knife long-term, evergreen, continuous carry. I mean, I think of like the bug out. You know, I know some of you guys hate the bug out, but it's been around forever. Notice some of those little details. They're there, right? You think about other knives, the Chris Reeve Sabenza, large Sabenza. Those things all do really well because of some of those ergonomic touches. And I'm just throwing that out there. That's where I pay really close attention because I want to enjoy the knife. Carrying, using the knife is how I enjoy the knife. And if I can't, then I'm not enjoying it. So could definitely hard use it, definitely EDC, could definitely be a collection piece. So overall, handles I like, open and closing is pretty nice. Overall, closing, flipper works really well, and that's really all it is. It's really a flipper. The closing is pretty nice. You clear the detent, it drops, you don't have any double clutch. I like that. I think that's nice. The jimping, there's no jimping anywhere. Yeah, no jimping anywhere. There is any clip. The clip is nice. It's rounded. It goes in and out. Has nice flexibility. There's a lanyard, so lanyard folks rejoice. Right hand tip up only, so keep that in mind. Ergos and action. I mean, flipping open is fun. It's crisp. It's nice. Could it be crisper? Sure. I think the leverage could be just a little bit higher, and that may take care of some of these sharp edges, my personal opinion. But yeah, it's not bad. Action is pretty cool. It does, and I think, but when you put skiffs in there, I think it would be even better personally. The design flow, it definitely has a design flow, and if that is really the most important thing to you, I think there's a lot to be said there. It's a pretty design flow. I love the kind of a hand satin finish look of the blade and the handle kind of coming together. I think that's really cool. I love these lines. I know they're trying to get that symmetry with that little pointing, little edge kind of flow, tapering together. I get it, and it looks nice. It does. It's just, is it functional is my challenge, right? Action is not bad. It's not bad at all. The function is not bad either. I mean, where it really gets into is the edginess, the sharp, the corners. That's really what bothers me the most. Even up here, you can see. Yeah, you can see how I get the nail. It scrapes the nails. It's just really sharp. Just at this price range, I would want to see some of these finishes done, right? I would love to see some of these finishes taken care of and worked on and not be as what it is. So yeah, there you go. Fidget factor, what am I going to say? The flipper's pretty good. So for the flipper, I'll give it a 3. I'll give it a solid 3. It's a really good flipper. Bonus flip, if I add that, that's going to take away. So I'll just say just a flipper only. Fidgety goodness. You know, after a while, I can tell you when I fidget with a while, this sharp edges, it got a little uncomfortable. So I'm going to give this an 85. It'll be a B. It won't be a B minus. It won't be a B plus. It's a B. It's a solid B. It's good. It's good. It's not great. It's not fantastic. It's not horrible. It's good. So that's my feel for my big old meaty fingers, right? So if you don't mind the really thin, sharp edges, then, you know, probably be fantastic. I don't know. So 3 out of 10, 80, a B plus. Is it recommended? I'm not going to recommend it. No, it's definitely not a favorite. I'm not going to recommend. I'm not going to recommend against it. I'm just not going to recommend it. I don't care for it. It's not. I don't go, ooh, I really want this. No. So I don't hate it, but I don't like it. There's just a lot of little touches I wish were done, and that could really make this a banger of a knife. Just my 2 cents, right? So yeah, it's definitely not recommended. So let's take a look at it and we can get a little close up. You can see what I'm talking about. So it's beautiful swedge. I love this kind of almost hand satin finish look. It kind of carries over to the scale. You can see that. I love the pivot collars, the nice titanium, but you can see these sharp edges right there. Sharp edges up here, sharp edges around there. I know it's meant to be industrial. A sharpening trowel, yes. It's a finger trowel? No, absolutely not. You come back over here. I love the simplicity of the Wii emblem right there, or the Wii logo. That's nice, but all sharp here, all sharp around here. You can see that these no chamfering, very uncomfortable, right? So you get into that. Then you look in here. There is weight relief in there, which is nice. Weight relief. You got a frame lock. We are engaged at about a good 50%. And then we look over here. Here's the lock bar. We go down here, steel bar insert over travel stop. Again, that blue anodized hardware around the pivot, T8s. You got the clip. Again, sharp edges all the way around here. This is not terrible. It's much better than some of these other outside edges for sure. Matter of fact, these edges feel better than some of these. So, and what I'm talking about here is these edges right here. And then you get to this lanyard loop, and it's just sharp, and I don't like that because that digs into my wrist after a while and gets all red and tender, because I like to fidget with my knives like crazy. I mean, it's an expensive fidget tool. I'm not gonna lie to you, it is. And then you can see the Vanax right there where it says Vanax. Again, I love this finish on there. It's cool. I would want to do it without the dark finish. I'd want to do the plain titanium if I was going to do it, right? So very, very cool, interesting knife. It has some potential. I like what the look of it. I hope it inspires something else that's a little smoother, a little more finished, refined, you know, that would be a little more ergonomically friendly to people, you know, long-term kind of carry. So interesting knife. I'll just say that. All right. So we've got the WE Knives Acuminal. We're going to call it Acuminal, right? I keep feeling I'm saying it wrong. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, but not recommended, not a favorites, but not recommended against. I'm not a total hater. There's some finishes that really need to be done for me to want to buy it, to want to have it in my collection. It's definitely not. I'm glad I checked it out because I would have been absolutely disappointed with this knife. Absolutely disappointed. But a lot of the pictures showed me these edges, and I figured they would be what they are, and they really are. Very uncomfortable. So to me, if you don't want a soft knife, you want an edgy, sharp edge knife, this is for you, right? Now, if you're one of these people that love that kind of knife, more power to you. Maybe you don't fidget with your knife a lot. Maybe you've got half-inch thick calluses on your hands and your hands are pretty much gloves without gloves on. Awesome, right? It's not me, man. I use my knife. I carry my knife here in the home, around the house, and I'm not a bushwhacker. I'm not a mechanic. I don't go out and repair engines and, do woodworking, metallurgy, or anything like that. I just, I'm around the house, do regular stuff. So that's my thoughts on this knife. All right, I'd love to hear your thoughts, what your thoughts are. If you have had the knife, you owned a knife, you handled the knife, let me know as well. If you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, or informative, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, maybe considering the subscribe button. Subscribing and liking the channel really helps me out, allows me to produce more content, do more things, ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you to everyone out there who watches the videos, enjoys the content, is part of the live stream. I appreciate you so very much. Thank you so much. Hey, if y'all haven't already done so, maybe consider hitting that notification button as well so you can be notified of future content like this and other videos. And a big shout out to my channel members. I appreciate you so very much. You do two amazing things for me. You encourage me. I do this part-time, so your encouragement is huge. Sometimes I don't want to do this. And you remind me why I love doing this, and so I appreciate that. And second of all, because of your generous support, you allow me to do things that I didn't think I would even be able to do now. So I'm grateful to you guys. Thank you. Like, for instance, we can do a weekly budget banger giveaway. That wouldn't be possible without you, because I borrow knives, I'm loaned knives, I got to ship them back. All the cost would take away from all the giveaways, right? I have subscriptions to different things like post-editing software and things like that. I got to pay for all those things. I do a lot of the giveaways, I cover it with my own cost. A lot of that stuff just wouldn't happen without you guys, quite honestly. And so I appreciate that. I'm very grateful. As a result of that, I want to do two amazing things for my channel members, exclusive to the channel members. One, do a once a month members exclusive giveaway that goes, every week we have a budget banger giveaway. And then that 1 week in a month, there'll be two giveaways, the budget banger giveaway and the members giveaway. And the members giveaway is usually something $100 or more, something I hope you would enjoy winning or giving as a gift. So that's sort of my goal of the members exclusive giveaway. And Along with that, and I usually say this beforehand, I also want to make sure that all members get a channel sticker and a thank you card or a thank you note from me. So if you're a brand new channel member and you haven't asked or received a channel sticker yet, email me your name and address. I'd love to mail you a channel sticker and a thank you note. And if you've been a member all along, or you were a member and became a member again, and you're actively a member right now and you've never asked or received a channel sticker, that goes for you too. I'd love to mail you a channel sticker and a thank you note. All right, thank you guys, everybody watching the video. Appreciate you being part of the community. You guys are amazing. If you haven't already, check me out on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.